my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It is Block Wednesday for Grandma's Kitchen. I also, remember at the end, I'll have a quilt parade for Grandma's Kitchen blocks from last week that you shared. And I'm going to show you what I've cut out for the next 4 blocks of the Tula Pink 100 modern quilt blocks, of which I'm only doing 70. And let's see, I have a new thing. Let me do that first. I'm calling it the monthly big challenge, like the big tidy up or the big challenge. Doesn't have to be a tidy up, but a big challenge. And when we were on our live chat the other morning, everybody got sort of very creative and we're naming like a monthly tidy up title for the month, like a special title. And I thought, well, that might be fun to have like your overall, like what you will do. So if, like for February, it is, there we go, I have to read it behind my note. Finish it February. So what you do, what I'm going to do is you pick an item that in February you will focus on finishing it. Whether that is a cleanup task, you know, maybe you have a drawer that you need to sort through, or maybe your batting scraps are out of control and you need to do them. It could be a physical project, a quilt that you need to finish. You need to, you know, finish the top or finish the binding, finish making the blocks. But picking just sort of one overall big thing for, you know, February's Finish It February. And what I'd like you to do is list what that is here in the comments at YouTube. And if you're on my community group, you can show a picture of what it is. Let's say you're finishing a top, show that top. I am going to do another binding from my stack, which is getting smaller. So there's less of them. There's about 6 of them now. No, I know a couple more coming from the long armor. So I have to move another one of those forward. And I also am going to try to do my sort of categories. So that's another thing I'm going to do. Okay, it is also Pay a Compliment Day. So if when you're out and about today or with your family members, your friends, if you don't leave your house and you don't see another person and you have a pet, compliment your pet. But give somebody a compliment. And it's kind of fun if it's a random person, somebody you don't know, like you just standing in line and the person in front of you is smartly dressed or has a nice outfit. I know that several months ago when I was someplace, there was a lady and I was waiting for Greg to drive around from the parking garage and pick me up. And a lady that was sitting there just told me that my outfit looked really sharp. And I just thought that was so sweet. You know, it was so nice of her to engage and give me a compliment. So today is compliment day. Okay, first let me just show you the 100 blocks. Oh, I gotta grab them. Hold on. I cut 4 of them out. And there they are. They're all the plus signs. What I'm doing is I'm just sort of going through the book, and if I hit something I don't want to make, which is the ones with a lot of little squares, I'm just bypassing it and going on. And so this is, I think, the last grouping of pluses from that. Remember, this grouped in sections. I got this great big Animal Crossing print, which I just love. And then I found this sort of tonal grunge, so I'm using that. This one was like the 2-tone guy that I talked about. So here it is. I found something that kind of gives that same feel. And now on the yellow one up here, tell me what you think. You can leave a comment here at YouTube and tell me, because this is a stripe and I'm trying to decide, do I want the stripes to go horizontal, which is kind of nice because you don't have that matching up issue, or the center horizontal and then these going, I mean the center vertical rather, and these horizontal, or they're all vertical. I don't think I like because they do not line up and it's kind of funky, so that bothers me. So it's really either they are horizontal and the center is vertical, or they're both horizontal, which works out. There might be some that are a little close, but they actually work out because of, you know, the way I cut it. So there you go. These I will sew while I am sewing other things. So I am playing around with screenshots for my monitors. It's a dual monitor, so you can look out there for high-res wallpapers for dual monitors. They had to be high res, otherwise they are all fuzzy and stuff. And so I've been playing around with finding things. I figure every month I'll change something, because why not? It's a lot of fun to go across the two monitors. All right, it is block number 6 from Grandma's Kitchen. I love this topic. It is so fun. You guys are always so engaged with anything that's kind of nostalgic. So it is wash day. There we go. There is the block, and here it is, was separated for sewing, and I did a little diagram of just how you might set it. You know, just an FYI, I don't do supply lists for this. This is like 25 blocks. If I was going to do a supply list, that'd be like 25 individual patterns I'd have to add to this free project, and that's just way too much for a free project. That's like a book. That's more than a book. That's more patterns than I would put in a book. Putting together just a diagram and telling you the size is much different than figuring out supplies and where fabric placement would be and all of that for a full-blown quilt. And so that is not part of this project. All I do is give you an inspiration diagram so that if you are loving the block and want a little way to use it, there you go. Okay, what is wash day at your grandma's, your mom's, yourself, wherever that figure is you're thinking about? My two grandparents, my two grandmas, had very different wash styles. One was my modern grandma. Granny is a modern grandma. She had the regular washer and dryer in the basement, you know, the electric and everything. Nana, for a very, 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 very long time, had a wringer washer, and she dried everything outside. So she was my half a modern grandma. When her parents sort of downsized and moved to kind of a smaller retirement home, just not that far, away, a couple miles away, she would go over there and do their laundry for them or help them out. And so she had to learn how to use a washing machine. And I do believe that when they passed away, well, my great-grandma passed away, then my great-grandfather moved away. And when that happened, I do believe she took their machines, but I'm not positive on that. I'm sure by the time she and my grandfather actually retired and moved to California from Pennsylvania, that then she did have modern equipment. But for when I was growing up, it was the wringer washer, and and this was 70s, 80s. She had that. So she was quite late to the game of going to modern equipment. Now, what I did is I put my blocks over there. I lowered them down so we could see them from here. Color-wise, this is block 6. And so you can see here, block 6 is actually on the 3rd row, right there. It's on the 3rd row. And it will be under that sort of, longer block. It'll be under there. So I'm thinking of the purples. Bring the purples down now to this area, because it's got teal there. I could do maybe purple and green. That might be really cool. Purple and green. So like maybe, let's see which reads darker, because I want to have the color that reads a little bit lighter towards the back, on the back side, and that darker being, this pops forward. So let's see. I don't have a lot of green, but I could always add some, because I have green, but there is a green. And then the purples, I believe, let's see. Oh, there's a stripe. I'm wondering if the stripe might be a really fun option. So if I had the green and then had the stripe behind it, in the center I could put a purple as well. I could put this dark one in the center like this, fussy cut the middle. Here we go. So I could fussy cut the middle from this guy, the dark here, and the stripe behind. I like that. I like that. And then for background, do I want to use, I could use one of the lights from this. I could do, see, I don't want to lose the stripe. I want to be sure that whatever I use, the stripe doesn't all of a sudden get lost. Well, this might be good. There we go. There we go, because it's a tiny, tiny print. Okay. I think that's what I'll do. this will be the center, the green, and then these, so that they're just kind of like a, more like a, you know, they really sort of blend back, not jump forward. This jumps forward. Okay, let me cut that up. Remember, when you're using directional fabric like I am for the half square triangles with the stripe, that you should audition to see which direction you want it to go. So if I want my stripe to go to the point, then I will always have to have them this way. You know, I'm just going to lay them all out. But if I wanted it to be the other direction, so I would go like this, and there you can see this way or this way. It's a big difference. It'll make a big difference in how it looks. I'm going to lay them out real quick. For this, you can see that I not only have to do the stripe for the outside half square triangles, but also for these inner half square triangles. So if I want them all going this direction, then I need to set it up so that these are actually sewn opposite ways from each other. And I will set up all of them and do just one set at a time so that I can place them down for these and see that they're correct. You're going to assemble this in a different order, so beware. Don't just pick them up and start doing all these flying geese type units, because it's not going to assemble properly. These are done as 4 patches. The center is done as a strip. Then you have a 3 patch here on these 2 ends. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so don't just pick it up and assume it's a regular construction, because it is not. So there we go. It's all ready for, I've done this one here to go together. These are still separate. So I'll go ahead and sew the block now. Wash day came together really, really well. Look at this. And before you wait and tell me that I say wash or say it differently than you do, don't bother. I've heard it all my life, so don't bother. I know I say it a way that is done by a certain segment, a certain number of people in the world, and it probably isn't you, so that's fine. Don't mention it. Okay, good. Mwah, mwah. All right, here it is, wash day. And I have to tell you also, both my grandmas rather, used the clotheslines. Granny had the rotating one. She's my modern grandma. She had like, you know, the big rotating one. And my Nana had a long skinny backyard because they lived in a duplex. And the clothesline ran a whole long length. And then she had these wood poles that she would stick up there to keep it, you know, because the laundry weighted the rope down. And I guess there weren't enough poles along the way to help that out. So she, you know, would stick these poles up. I was always fascinated by those poles. And she also wore a halter top when she would go out there in the summer, because she hated the heat, so she was always hot, but she had this halter top on it. And I always thought that was very, I don't know what. I was just fascinated that my grandmother wore a halter top. Okay, so here it is. Now, before I go on to the parade, before we do the parade, I have 2 things. One is the Fat Quarter Shop sent me a couple of their new things to show you, and so I thought I would do that. One is this super cute pattern. Look at that, these little flag houses. That is darling, super darling, if you want to get ready to do something for this summer, for 4th of July. And then there was a new sort of vintagey, it's called Vintage Sampler Cross Stitch by Lori Holt. And I just think that's super pretty, very, very sweet. They also have in their Lori's book stand. So these book stands are really nice. They're metal, so that you can put a magnet on them, you know, put the needle minders on them, and she's done them in different colors. So I guess when one color runs out, she does a different color. So right now they're in this beautiful blue, and I thought I'd just show it to you because it is so pretty. It's a very pretty blue. It's kind of that summer blue that I like, maybe a little darker than the summer blue that I like, but there it is. So, and then it has, there's cardboard there. It has a stand. But they're very, very useful, and I do enjoy these a lot. I have a couple different kinds of stands, one for my tablet, one for paperwork over here. I use these kind on my desk when I'm working. So there you go. Okay, the other thing I wanted to ask you is that I mentioned, well, I'm not going to get it, but I'll just tell you. I mentioned that I'd done a sort of roadmap for myself of how I want to approach the things that I own that have to do with my hobby of quilting and my business and hobby of quilting and cross stitch. And I've made myself a roadmap of what the things I would want to go through and how I want to approach that so that I can do a right sizing of my stuff. And several of you have asked me, could I share that? And no, I'm not sharing mine exactly as it is, because I don't work like you. You don't own a quilt business for 25 years and have a lot of product that has to do with the quilt business to work through. That stuff would be nonsense for you. It does, I wouldn't even, you don't have archive fabric that you have to decide on, or your original patterns, or letters from businesses and things like that. You don't have all that kind of stuff. But I had thought that maybe, I mean, you have to remember too, I have been doing this as a business for 25 years. And I did it part-time for several years prior to that. So my whole mode of thinking and how I work is entirely different than if I only did this as a hobby. Yes, it's also my hobby, but I have other hobbies. And my other hobbies I treat entirely different than I do this. So I do think that I can go through and teach you how to think for yourself about your things. I don't need to give you a list. That's useless. My list is not going to be the same as your list, but I think I might be able to give you a series of prompts, discussion points, where you look at yourself and your items and decide what your roadmap would be. You have to figure your roadmap out for yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. If that interests you, tell me here in the comments at YouTube, because I will try to work something up and maybe give you a list of questions that I could, you could have a PDF to print out, something like that. So let me know. Let me know. Okay, now on to the parade. Anne starts us off with adorable coffee cup fabric in her block. I love that so much. I haven't seen that one. It's a cute one. And Barb's, look, she's got the juice glasses. We're going to see a few people are still having their glasses and cups. It's so much fun. Love it, love it. This is my friend Barbara, who is one of our ambassadors and helps us out. And she is doing an aqua and white quilt. All her blocks aqua and white. They're gorgeous. Beverly's, look how fun this is with the stripe. I love it. I believe that purple is just what it's laying on. It's not, actually, that's not sewn in. So don't get confused, but it is so cute. Caroline's is warm and cozy. These are just beautiful. I love it. Like she used two different fabrics in the lights for her blocks. So cool. Connie, another aqua block. Oh, love it. Debbie's is beautiful in these 30s reproduction type fabrics. They are so cute, and it's got a dot. There's like a lavender fabrics. Deborah's beautiful, beautiful. Look at the tree fabric in there. That is cool. It really adds to it. Francis, oh, look at the strawberries and the gingham and the dots. Bang, bang, bang. You just getting all the feels here. It is so good. Love it, love it. Jackie's is blue and white. Just so classic. I love that floral. Very, very pretty. Jana's peaches and blue. So soft. I love that blue. That's an awesome blue. Janice has got some purple going on here. And look at the big floral. That is super effective. She's done a great job with that. Kellyanne's coffee. Oh, look. Okay, I think I've shown this hers before as they've come along. I recognize one of them. Coffee. You just get me at that. I love coffee fabric. Here's my friend Kendall's block, and he does a YouTube channel here and loves to sew my blocks, plus many of his own projects. So you need to go over and check out his channel and subscribe, because he's a lot of fun. Kimberly's, this is so pretty. The batiks, they just are vibrant, so vibrant. My friend Laura, who is also one of our ambassadors, and she has some aqua with little window fabrics in the center, little apple fabric, and cups. Super cute cups. So those Tupperware cups, let us know. Linda's has got a cup too. Let's see, I wrote a note for hers. She said her granny would make percolated coffee, like with a percolator, coffee pot. And she did it on a gas stove, and I guess she gave her and her cousin like cream with, milk with tiny little bit of coffee in it. Fun memories. I don't remember my grandmother's ever giving me coffee. I didn't have coffee until I was well into adulthood. I drank a lot of tea. Liz's cups are so precious. These are family cups and glasses, and very, very pretty. Marie, look how gorgeous this block is with the pale yellow and brown. Such a classic combo. Mary's is so fun. Now, she had a note here that she remembers the juice glasses. They came in the laundry detergent. And so many of you have talked about that. Now, my grandparents didn't have that. We had the juice glasses that had jelly in them. So maybe they like different detergent. Here is Mary's block, a different Mary, and that cup was her let me see, it was her great-grandfather's shaving mug. Such a great memory. Michelle's with her super cute little girl fabric in here, and the pinks and the aquas. Myra's, look how snazzy that one fabric is. That chevron fabric, very cool. Priscilla's gorgeous block. This looks like could be for like Grandpa's suit, right? I really like it. Rachel, she's got a family portrait here. All of her blocks, they are incredible. Look at, she's using a fabric line that has this super cool print in it. Wow. I really like it. Sandy's super pop art. It's like you'd have a grandma from the 70s. Look at that. Yeah, it looks so good. Or the 60s, yeah. Sharon's block with the cup is her dad's baby cup. Aw, how sweet. Susan's here, and she said that her grandma served iced tea in clear geometric Fostoria glasses. And then she shared also a picture of what those look like. So she said that the rims were very thick. I'm not familiar with those glasses, so now I got to go look some up. Okay, everybody, thank you for sharing. And here is my block with my granny's aluminum cups. The cups and glasses was a particularly fun concept, theme, whatever, because so many of you do have very strong memories of a particular item. I love the lady who had her great-grandfather's, I believe, shaving cup, because my pop-up, I distinctly remember him having a shaving with a shaving cup in the bathroom, in their one bathroom in the whole house, So I do remember that. So I just thought that was super cool. Brought back a really fond memory of my grandfather for me. Okay, we're on wash day. Tell me about how the washing goes, whether you use clotheslines, all of that. If you want to just chat about it without the block, because maybe you're not doing the quilt along, you can do that here at YouTube or over at my fireside chat, but not in the quilt group. You got to have a quilt. Got to have a block to go with it. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.